Good evening, everyone. Welcome to my presentation for Kant category imperative, duty, morality, and rationality. We will explore his idea, Samuel Kant's idea, especially about duty, morality, and rationality, and see how this framework helps to understand what truly makes an action right. That is start with a really fundamental question: what exactly makes an action right or wrong? Is it the goal outcome it produced? Is it the feeling or intention behind it throughout history? Philosophers had various this question why many of the stories focus on the consequence of our action, or perhaps on the pursuit of the person acting in can offer a different perspective, offer a distinctly different perspective. He argued that the true measure of an action moral would lies not in its result but in the understanding principle and the duty from which it is performed. Our journey began with Immanuel Kant, a towering figure of the 18th century Enlightenment. Kant is the most prominent proponent of what we call deontological ethics. The word deontological comes from the Greek deon, meaning duty. So, for Kant, morality is fundamentally about duty inherent to universal moral rule rather than the consequence of our action. This stands the step contrary to consequential theory like determinism, which judge action based purely on their outcome. Kant primarily argued that the only thing good without qualification is a good way and intention to act from duty simply because it is right thing to do regardless of personal inclination or desired result. To truly Kant moral philosophy, we first need to distinguish between two types of command or imperative that guide our action. First, we have hypothetical imperative. These are conditional command. They tell us what we should do if we want to achieve a certain goal. For example, if you want good grade, then you should study. The command to study it contingent on your desire for good grade. If you don't get about grade, the command does not apply to you. But then there is the categorical imperative. This is the cornerstone or contain a deity and unconditional command, a moral law that apply to all rational beings, regardless of their desire or goal. It is do one command like do not lie or have to any for Kant. Truly moral ethics stem from the crucial imperative which are universally blinding and desire from reason itself. Kant presents his category imperative in several formulations, each offering a slightly different length through which to view the same fundamental moral law. The first and perhaps most famous is the formula of universal law. It states that you act only according to that message, whereby you can at the same time with that it should become a universal law without contradiction. Let it break down. Imagine is the subjective principle or rule behind your action. It is why you are doing what you are doing. The test is, can you imagine everyone acting on the message all the time without leading to logical or practical breakdown? Can identify two types of contradiction, a contradiction in conception where the message becomes impossible to even consider or is universal like making a false promise. Is everyone make a false promise? The very concept of a promise work blue is meaning and a contradiction when well, even if logically possible, you will not want to be a universal law like never having other one logically possible. You will not want to live in the world where no one ever hates you. When you need it, the formulation essentially act to consider if our actions are truly universal. The second formulation is the formula of humanity as an in itself and is incredibly powerful. It commands act in such a way that you treat humanity, whether in your own person or in person or any other, never simply as a mean but always at the same time as a. What does this mean? To treat someone as it might mean to use them solely as a tool or achieve your goal without regard for their inherent value, their rationality or their capability or autonomous choice. Think of slavery, for instance. It is morally abhorrent because it treats human being as a property, as instrument for another gain, right? To treat someone as an enemy, to recognize and respect their innocence, or as a rational being, it may acknowledge that they have their own goal, their own dignity, and their own capability to make choice. This formulation emphasizes the profound respect we owe to ourselves and to every other human being simply because they are rational agents. Finally, the third formulation, often called formula of the kingdom of the and provide a vision or an idea moral community, is stated as through your machine where to begin through your way, a universal law of nature, or more explicitly, if you were always through you are missing a lawmaking member in a kingdom of earth. This formulation adds to imagine ourselves as legislator in a perfect moral society, a canon of n, where everyone act accordingly to maxim the code universal law and where everyone treats each other as an in themselves. It underscores the concept of autonomy, meaning self-legislation. At Rationality, we don't just follow moral law, we create them for ourselves and for others through our rational way. Right? This formulation inspires us to act in a way that contributes to a harmonious and rational world where everyone's dignity and autonomy are respected. So let's talk about moral scenario, right? Imagine you are a student struggling with difficult exam. You notice your friend, who is usually very honest, is distinctly looking at notes during the exam. You are faced with the dilemma: report your friend or ignore it. The dilemma here is clear. The core ethical conflict in your scenario: do I uphold academic integrity and potential harm my friend, or do I prioritize loyalty to my friend and compromise my integrity? Later, you can three formulation to guide our evaluation of this scenario. See why moral action, if any, emerge as our duty. First, let us analyze the scenario through the lens of the universal law formulation. Let us consider the maxim behind the action of ignoring the cheating or cheating oneself. Or if my maxim is, for example, I will ignore cheating when it involves a friend to avoid conflict. What happens if this becomes a universal law? If everyone ignores cheating, the very concept of exam as a fair assessment of knowledge would collapse. The integrity of the education system would be undermined. There would be no trust in grade or degree. This creates a contradiction in conception. The practice of exam and by extension education would seek their function meaningfully. Therefore, the maxim of ignoring cheating cannot be weighed as a universal law without contradiction, making it an immoral acting according to Kant. Next, let us apply the humanity as an formulation. How does ignoring the cheating treat humanity, either in myself or other, as a mean rather than an end? By ignoring the cheating, I might be treating the education institution, the professor, and even other students as mean. Might mean to avoid an uncomfortable situation or to maintain a friendship rather than respecting their inherent value and purpose in fostering genuine learning and fair assessment. Furthermore, I might be treating my friend as a mean to avoid discomfort rather than respecting their autonomy and capability for rational choice by allowing them to face the consequence of their action and learn from them. And I'm also treating myself as a mean to avoid conflict rather than upholding my rational duty to integrity. The action fail to uphold the dignity of all involved party, treating them as instrument rather than as an end in themselves. Finally, let us consider the kingdom of an origin. If the maxim of ignoring cheating were to begin a universal law, what kind of kingdom of and would we inhabit? In the idea one, in the idea moral community where everyone has rationality and strong duty, would I legislate a rule that permit an accurate ignoring academic dishonesty? Absolutely not. Such a rule would lead to a society where trust is enrolled, marriage is meaningless, and the pursuit of knowledge is devalued. A moral kingdom ought and thrive or rational principles, honestly and mutual respect. An action that undermines these principles, like ignoring cheating, would make such a harmonious and rational community impossible. Therefore, it cannot be weighed as a law in the kingdom of earth. In conclusion, Kant's categorical imperative offer a profound and rigid framework of navigation moral dilemma. It shapes our focus from the inevitable consequence of our action to the inherent moral worth of the action is rooted in duty and rationality. The three formulations, universal law, humanity as an end, and kingdom of end, provide the distinct yet interconnected test for determining whether an action is morally permissible. They emphasize the importance of universalizability, treating all rational beings with dignity and respect, and acting as if we are legislating for an ideal moral community. It is a powerful tool for ensuring our actions are not just convenient or beneficial, but truly moral. Thank you for your attention. I hope this presentation have shed some light on Kant's complex yet compelling ethical theory. I welcome any question or talk you might have. On the final slide, you will find the reference I have consulted for the presentation. The cornerstone of understanding Kant's categorical imperative is, of course, his original groundwork of metaphysics of moral. I have listed is here with a original publication year and a common modern translation.